okay, I switched to software, and instead now it's only eating 14%. This is just an AMD thing, I guess. Here, you can go back now. I'm sorry. This is just... That was weird.
That
Yeah.
was weird.
Yeah, that was just... I'm so sorry, everyone. But yeah, we're alive now. Like, it's actually okay.
It's actually working.
Let's see.
Crazy.
I learned something for the future. We are okay now.
That's good.
Let me see. Oh, look at that.
Yep, it's alive.
It certainly is working.
I learned the hard way that AMD encoder sucks.
Yeah, NVIDIA's is kind of better in my opinion.
Because it actually just eats 100% of my GPU.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
I forgot to change the title. Oops. There we go.
Whoop. Throwing.
Alright. But anyway, you guys can actually introduce now, because it is actually streaming now.
Hello, well, you know me, it's Noman here. And today we have special guest 6WX, first time on this podcast, to talk about Dokapon the World, which is one of the other Dokapon games that was never released outside of Japan. And we're going to mostly be talking about that today, because there's a lot of interesting things about Dokapon the World compared to Kingdom or other games. Just how intriguing it is, in my opinion. The class system, the way it looks is different. There's a lot of things that are very unique and different about it. So we're going to probably go through a lot of the game today and discuss things about it, different topics, etc., etc. So yeah. So 6, you have anything to say that you want to say about Dokapon the World off the bat, or in particular? Or...
Oh, what's good? And if you want, you can call me Wes as well.
All right,
Wes.
cool.
Like whatever's easier for you.
All right, cool.
As for Dokapon the World, Dokapon the Warudo.
The Worldo, yes.
Yeah. Well, coming from Dokapon Kingdom to Zawar, I can say that it is definitely interesting. The huge number of classes or jobs just forcing you to really consider exactly what you're going to do, like right out the gate. Because unlike Kingdom and maybe some of the newer games of Dokapon, you don't get to control your stats.
There are no pump stats. That is correct. There are no pump stats in Dokapon the World.
So since it's actually entirely based on the class you're currently using and the classes you've mastered. So compared to other Dokapon games, that can be a blessing or a curse. In my experience, and with the people I played with initially before meeting you guys, we generally found this to be more balanced. And the reason being, in Kingdom, I'm sure you probably know that one of the meta things is to pump like speed and HP or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Usually
like
that's
ninja
like,
rushing. Yeah,
Ninja Rush,
speed
HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you could say it got a little stale for us, for our group. One of the first few games I played that I won, I went a magic build because I wanted to go against that. And my friends, one of them was telling me, oh, magic's not good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And, Magic RDX showed up. I'm like, I see. But one of the things that he wasn't prepared for was Giant Ice DX, Ice Storm, killing him while he's on top of the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And, so in that game, even though magic isn't as strong,
Field Magic
was still
strong.
Doable. You can get around Magic RDX with that.
Yeah, Field Magic is still decent, yeah.
It still made Battle Magic very meh. Having you lose 90%?
In base game, 90%.
Yeah, in Dokapon Kingdom, Magic RDX reduces 90% of your magic effectiveness. So just 10% of what your damage normally could have been. Which, what I remember correctly, it's like 2.4 magic per one. Yeah. Your magic times 2.4 versus, and then subtract your opponent's magic times 1 or something like that. And then the multiplier based on the spell, of course. either way, all those specifics aside, I felt like Kingdom had a lot of different things. And this isn't a Kingdoms podcast, though. This is the world. So, with the world, I really like this game. I like that there's technically 5 starting jobs you can go for.
Yeah, if you have a finished save file, you get a 5th option for
But-
having a completed save
Yeah.
file. That's correct. Yes.
Yes, but the 4 actual professions, in this game they actually translate it officially as, instead of the warrior class, the fighter
It's fighter.
class.
Yeah.
But
It's basically
either way,
warrior.
fighter,
Yeah.
mage, the priest or cleric,
Cleric.
whatever you think it, but they
And
translate
thief.
as priest.
Yeah.
And then there's the thief class.
Mm-hmm.
And then beyond that, though, is the free class or the unemployed, jobless,
Whatever we want
you
to call it. Freelancer. Yeah. we
But
thought it was
yeah,
much-
but in the official guidebook, they call it free. So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah, in the official guidebook, they actually put English names for all the jobs for some reason, even though they don't
Yeah.
translate much stuff, which is interesting. I found
Yeah.
that out
I
when
thought
you
it was pretty
expand
cool.
on that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yes, but so those are just the starting classes, of course, the starting jobs, and I really enjoy how they have a 3-level system of these. As in, you start with the base form of the fighter, then you can go into the knight after you reach at least level 4 with fighter,
Then,
and then
there's
if you master both fighter
Yep.
and knight to level 5, then you can become the swords master, of course. And each of these classes having increasing degrees of wins. So you only, required wins to level up. So 4 wins per level at the beginning, 5 wins per level with the second level, and then 7 wins per level to get to the max level for the 3rd tier of class or job. I think that is really cool. It makes a lot more sense to me than what I've experienced initially with Kingdom being always just 7, or I think that's what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought that was cool in its own, and obviously when you stay in this job route, you get mastery points for whatever, like attack boost for the fighter group, defense for the priest, magic for the mage, right? And since these jobs are able to be finished so quickly in the beginning,
yeah,
it gives you a little more power than, let's say, in Kingdom or something.
yeah, because
so
how everyone
In
in
Master
knows
Chiefs,
in Dokapon Kingdom, each job finishes the same, like number of wins. I think it was 35, but that's not the case.
so
in
7 per
Dokapon
level.
the World.
Yes.
Yeah, but in Dokapon the World, each class has a different tier of wins.
Yeah.
For
It can be
example,
as low
all the
as
starting
20.
ones. Yeah,
It's as low as
starting-
20 and then as high as 40 for the ultimate tier of classes. Basically.
Then there's 2 classes that take.
60.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2
yeah,
classes take 60. Yeah, one of them is jobless or free,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. And the reason that one takes forever, it gets all stats up as its mastery, so that's why it takes forever.
Yeah, same thing for the other class you're about to mention too.
Yeah, royalty, which is basically the hero of the game.
It is the class you can only get once you have earned the right to use every other class that you can.
Including
Based on
the
your
Darkling as
gender,
well. Yeah,
actually.
including the Darkling as well.
Yeah, actually including both Darklings.
2
We got
Darklings.
a lot to talk about.
Yep, there's 2 forms of Darkling in the world.
Yeah, the first Darkling they just call the Deviler Man, but we can just call it Darkling because that's what they changed it to, at least in Kingdom.
Yeah.
But the another Deviler that's literally what the name is like translated as. That one is like a super Darkling, and well, it's a lot scarier. It's if you think of the Darkling Dokapon Kingdom, and then you compare it to the Deviler Man and the another Deviler in the world, you could kind of just say that the Kingdom Darkling is like in the middle of them both. Whereas, like Deviler Man, it's fine. It's just you don't get you don't get the strongest levels of.
You don't get.
You don't get to do World Panic, basically.
Yeah, you don't get Global Assault on normal Darkling.
Global Assault, yeah.
Yeah.
However, with the Super Darkling, you do, And you also, they both get things like come here. However, with another Deviler, the Super Darkling, it takes a lot less points, like only like 40, 50, or 60, something like that, to get come here. I think it's like 40 to get. I have to look at it again, but whatever. It's a lot shorter, so it's a lot scarier when that thing pops up. But of course, that's another thing. I kind of think it's interesting how they force you to have an egg, and so Weber gives you an egg instead of you having to go to a Weber space or something.
So it's like the contract, basically, from...
Yeah, it's like Weber gives you a contract in a way, or what they
Yeah.
call it, a demon egg,
Yeah.
and you just activate that item to turn into the Darkling.
Yeah. The way you get the other one is you have to wait for the egg to turn red by waiting, and then that's how you get another Deviler, basically, by waiting patiently while
And
you
it seems like it takes 3 weeks for that to happen.
Yeah.
But the purple egg has to turn red, and once it's red, then you go Super Darkling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I wanted to point out though, one, I think it's kind of cool that the Super Darkling loses its gender entirely. Like it just looks like a creature. You can't even tell whether it's male or female.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But I also find it interesting that the two different Darklings have different weapons and equipment.
Yeah. Real quick, PF asks, is the time limit still 2 weeks for both forms of Darkling? Is what he asked.
Oh, from what I could tell, I think it changes depending on how many weeks are currently in play.
Yeah, because I remember early game, it was like a 10-day Darkling, but max is 14.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the specific.
But I don't think it's based on which Darkling you go. It's like how early in the game, because I remember doing another Deviler in Russia, and I only had 10 days with it. It was interesting. But I know the cap is 14. Like, the most days you'll ever get, period, for both Darklings.
Yeah, I don't remember going any further than that.
No, 14 is definitely the cap, for sure, for both Darklings.
But, maybe we need to try a week 999 game and see what happens with the Darkling.
I doubt it, but it's probably still 14. Yeah. We could, but it's probably still 14.
Yeah. But either way, it can be short or it can be long. But expect it to be around 2 weeks. That's what I would.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a rough... It can be a rough 2 weeks, depending on, where you are, what you have. Because this game, one of the reasons why, again, comparing to Kingdom, but one of the things I like about this game that I didn't think about too much was that you're not allowed to buy certain types of items.
You can't buy vanishes. The only way to get vanishes.
You cannot buy vanish from the store.
Yeah, the only way to get vanish is, I think through, item spaces.
Item spaces. You got to get it by luck.
Yeah.
Yes. And not just vanish, though. Things like come here itself, down.
You cannot buy them. You can buy... Yeah.
No, actually...
You can buy
Sleepy
down.
Time. Now, you can buy down. Yeah, you're
but
right.
it's way later in the game. It's literally the second to last chapter of the game. So
it is actually the final store in the game that you can buy from. And it's so far... It's literally in the poles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In one of the poles. I think the North Pole. But
I think it was South Pole, because South Pole had the magic store. No. But yeah, anyway.
But they both have a magic store.
Oh, they do? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They both have
it's one of the poles. Yeah.
Yeah, they both have a magic store, they both have a weapon store, but they have different things in each of them.
Yeah, I think Bounce is in North Pole, and then South Pole has Bind, I think, for defensive magic, I believe.
Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah.
Again, I don't remember specifically, and I probably should, but that's not that important. So, yeah. When it comes to some of the really cheap strategies that at least I've experienced with my friends, that I didn't like, those are no longer abusable in this game.
Like Lava Cave spam come here.
Lava Cave. The Lava Cave. I'm just going to say, the Lava Cave and the casino, actually, because there is not a casino that you can just go to and bet all your money or constantly keep betting money to win money.
Right.
That does not exist in the world.
When I go to the casino in the world, it's because everyone else is dragged into it and I lose $2 million.
See, now let's talk about that. Let's talk about one of the things that Hero doesn't. On the weekly basis, sometimes
Wednesdays. Yeah, Wednesdays, middle of the week.
At the end of a Wednesday.
End of Wednesday, beginning of Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes. So once Wednesday ends, after everyone's turn, there is a chance that a weekly game will proc.
Weekly game.
Or not even always a game though. It could be like a battle or the race.
Yeah, Coliseum, bet on races.
It's gonna be some kind of special event.
Yeah.
Where everyone's taking part. And there are some where you go into this card game place or whatever, which these guys have dubbed the casino, and probably because when you're here, you're gonna play one of a few games, things like Not 30 or Survival,
Dokapon
or Pair.
Yeah.
But these games can drastically change the fate of who's in the lead or not. Because the longer the weeks go, the more money that someone can win. It scales
based off the current week. Yeah,
it is entirely possible that you can lose like literally the game because it's gonna be a $2.7 million debt, or like some guy will win $3 million. You're like, oh,
yeah,
I lost.
You know, I might have experienced that recently or something.
Yeah, it's almost like you got last because of it, and I got second.
It's almost like, yeah, you know, it's kind of weird how the second place person got targeted and not. Anyways.
The thing with 13 and Kingdom is that, like, when that happens like once in a lifetime. That doesn't happen more than once a game.
Yeah. The thing about Dokapon the World, weekly events seem to be more common from my experience compared to
gambling games like that will happen like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks.
Every 2 or 3 at worst. The most weeks I've gone without a gambling event was 5 or 6. It was like 5.
So you could literally go from last place to first place by literally like getting pity and be like, hey guys, can you not do the Not 30 on me? Can you guys not do the Not 30 on me?
Oh, so yeah, I should explain Not 30. So basically, you have to put cards in the middle. You have to, at minimum, put 1 in. The most you can put in is 3, and then you rotate. And then whoever puts the 30th card in loses, and they have to pay the other 3 players money based off the current week because it scales. And then the other 3 players get money, and then they get debt basically, or lose a lot of money basically.
Yes.
And then there's the inverse of that, which is survival.
Survival is the inverse.
Which is basically 13. Yeah, it's basically Oh, go ahead.
It's one person wins and 3 people lose. There are 3 bomb cards and there's everything else is safe cards. Whoever is the last one left alive, or the person who doesn't touch a bomb card wins.
Yep.
And then there's pair, which is making pairs, and then based on the pair you create, you either get like a equipment,
money,
item,
magic,
but there is 1 bomb, and that 1 bomb will make you drop.
Yeah,
it'll make you drop everything you currently have, and it seems like you're out of the game for like a turn or 2.
It skips a turn, I think.
Yeah, you skip. I think it's probably just 1 turn. Usually when that happens,
it's if you're starting out first place or second, you have like a lot of good stuff, and you hit bomb, you cry on the inside.
Bomb is like only good if you start and you get it off the bat, because then you can watch people pick cards. Like, it's good if you get it at the very start, like with your first rotation.
Yeah, but the nice thing about this mode is that nobody actually loses. Everybody gets.
Some people win way harder is the problem.
Yeah, some win harder, but nobody loses.
That at least, compared to Survival. But I do want to say in one of the games, not 30.
Not 30.
I want to mention though, in one of the games of Hero, I played him with, he got stupid. He got recover the Dokapon sword and the Dokapon shield in one game, and I got nothing. I got nothing because I got bomb and lost everything.
Well, some gain a lot and some don't.
And also
that's what I say.
Also, another player got Freezer, which is the strongest ice magic in the game, and we were only in Chapter 4. You can't buy that till Chapter 6, so he had like a good battle magic for like half the game, basically. That's ridiculous. In Chapter 4.
You know the worst part, Wes, is that if I even tried to touch that man, no man was threatening me. Everyone was threatening. I was like,
I said, please do not get Freezer. I will literally stop you if you get Freezer. Like, no, you're not getting Freezer.
I didn't think I did anything wrong.
It sounds like Dokapon things happened, huh?
Dokapon things did indeed occur.
But there's a couple other events we can talk about. like the monster race.
Yeah. You bet on money on a monster. And
you go to the horse races.
Yeah, you're basically betting on a horse race, basically.
But with monsters, and monsters are random, it seems.
Yeah.
But they also give you the odds when you show up. They show you numbers of like.
They have multipliers too.
You might get. They have multipliers and a little. They have these little symbols.
Yes, there is day at the races.
Who's the favorite? Who's the underdog? Who's the dark horse?
Yep, it's day at the races. You literally bet and you hope for the best. Yep.
But the day of the races you think of, Fief, guess what? Imagine if you had information about what racers had a good day, a bad day. The multipliers could be from 1 to 1,000,000. Well, it's like 1 to 100, but at this point, we're talking about millions of dollars.
I've seen
a 90. I've seen a 90 or like 80 multiplier one time.
80,
Let's just say if the 90 times multiplier, like Little Monster wins the race, and you put $1 million in, well,
probably win the game.
You go check in your check at the World Peace Bank, and you've become a billionaire. Just relax. The rest of the game's over.
Yep, you probably just won the game.
Yeah, we need to talk about the World Peace Bank, but just to stay on topic real quick, the last event being the last one I can think of is there's two actually. So
there's Coliseum,
the Coliseum,
and then food battle.
Food battle.
So
the food
Coliseum battle, food battle.
Yeah,
and even if you don't have a good build in that game, if you're a good button masher, the food battle's for you.
Yeah, food battle. It's part of another random event minigame, but basically everybody has to press, the square, triangle, circle, X.
It's a PS2 game. It's a PS2 game for reference. We probably
press the buttons in the correct order as the food appears, and then you eat it, and you get points, and you just keep going for a time limit to see who eats the most food.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the little tournament where you guys go one-on-one constantly, and then fight the final food.
You fight Waltz. It's actually Waltz, who was in other Dokapon games. Fun fact.
Waltz? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was Waltz. He was actually playable in Ikari no Tekken. Fun fact. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ikari no Tekken reference characters.
There's also a lot of DX characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
We'll get to that later.
You do that, and the winner wins a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's about it. Nobody loses anything. And then the Coliseum battle is similar to the Kingdom one, where you have to fight Camacho, right?
Well, actually, you can fight different opponents, actually.
You can fight,
in this one.
You can fight Viral,
it could be a gladiator. It could be a pirate. It could be the traveling monk, ninja.
Yeah, the drunk guy.
The drunk guy, the fighter, the ninja. It could even be Alice.
Yeah, I did not know that. I've never seen Alice.
Or Alyssa, sorry.
Alyssa. Wait, I've never seen Alyssa.
Out of curiosity, does that mean it can't be Birkin?
No, it has been.
Oh,
has it been Birkin?
Yeah. Wait. Red Birkin?
Red Birkin?
Yeah, Red Birkin.
I think.
I've never
seen him there.
I haven't seen him there.
I might have got him mixed up. Like, I feel like he is, but there's a chance that I'm just remembering the other gladiator guy who looks
I know I've seen Gladiator, Vero or Viral, and Garamaru. I know I've seen those three.
Yeah, and I've seen... Wait, you said... Don't forget the traveling Snatch?
Snatch. I've seen Snatch.
I've seen the monk guy whose name is...
Zhao Long or whatever his name is.
Xiaolong.
Yeah. Xiaolong. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that, like, the only one missing... Because I've seen Alyssa. So the only one would be Red Birkin, whatever his name is.
Red Birkin, Red Bullykin, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Bullykin.
And I feel like he should be an option, based on the fact that literally everyone. Actually, no, he wouldn't be an option.
Because he's a story boss, not
not the story boss.
He's probably not in it. Yeah.
Yeah, not story bosses. Only the
optional boss.
We're just throwing out all these names, and you're probably confused. So let's explain.
Get to that.
Gamamaru. Yeah. Gamamaru is a ninja who you must defeat to earn the ninja class.
Yeah, he was the same character that was playable in other Dokapon games. It's the same guy, basically, from DX and Ikari no Tekken. But in this game, he's an optional boss to get the ninja class. Like, unlike Kingdom, where you do classes and you get it, you have to master warrior, thief, or fighter and thief in this case. Magician, sorry.
It's magician. You have to be a mage thief.
Mage Thief, and then you have to beat Garamaru, and then he offers you the ninja job after you beat him. He's an optional boss to get the class.
Yeah, and he only appears after you beat the first continent.
And you go to the king.
Unless you're playing free mode.
Yeah, but we're not talking about free mode. We're mostly just talking about story. That's the important part. But yeah.
I mean, free mode's cool.
It's cool, but most people, if they are going to play, it's going to be story, though, let's be honest. If they ever get interested.
Yeah, okay. Well, all the optional bosses just spawn automatically in free mode. And that's also where you fight Wallace. Right?
Yeah.
Or you can see Wallace.
Wallace is actually nowhere to be found in the story mode, which is funny, because he's prevalent in a lot of other Dokkan games, but not this one. He's probably the least prevalent in this Dokkan.
Well, he's prevalent in the Battle Royale.
He's definitely prevalent in the free battle mode.
Yeah, not the story mode, though.
Like, he keeps popping up to take your towns and then teleport to other towns to take them.
He's basically the boss monster until everyone decides to end the game.
Yeah, well, you actually... Yeah. Like, he'll just... Even after you beat him, he'll just come back eventually.
Yeah, he just keeps coming back.
So you just gotta get to your limit of money or whatever.
Yeah, basically in that mode, you could set a mode. You could set the target amount, and then the mode will end. Basically,
yeah, either the number of weeks you play or the number of money, the max amount of money you need.
I don't think I could ever do like a week limit in that, because I feel like you get fucking robbed by one Wallace encounter, and then it's it. That's it. Yeah. Oh wow, it was the last day too. Unfortunate.
I would say you have to cry now.
Mm-hmm.
Wallace takes Hawaii from you. Guess you lose.
GG.
Wallace takes New York from you. Wallace takes Chile from you.
Yeah. You know.
Oh yeah. Another fun fact about this game. Yeah, it's the world, and it's based off the actual world we live in, and the towns are based off real world locations as well. All the towns in the game.
And that's the only Dokapon game to do that.
Yep, that is true.
You actually can go to Tokyo.
What's up?
It's actually interesting to me that some continents are named after... Some of the towns are named after their countries, while some of them are named after cities.
Actually, cities, yeah, it's weird. And, like, Oceania does a mix of both, because some of the towns are actual Australian towns, like Melbourne or Sydney, and then New Zealand, a country, is a town. For some reason in Oceania, New Zealand by itself is a town.
I mean, New Zealand is kind of small.
It is small.
Yeah, but it's a country. It's just interesting. I don't have a problem.
It's interesting because, for example, South America is all countries, and all of North America is cities.
Yeah. And then
North America is pretty...
Well, North America actually isn't all just cities. Hawaii, the state, is a town, which is weird.
Right, but Yeah. Then
New York is also a state, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, it could be New York City, though. You don't know. Unless
it doesn't say it's the sea, bro.
I guess it is New York State.
Actually, you can make it a city, because it starts out as a village, then a town, and then a city.
Right, yeah, technically. Yeah.
There's only 3 upgrades in this game.
I think the only continent where it's consistently only cities is Russia, because it's the country of Russia, so they have to do towns. Because, fun fact, Russia, the country, is its own chapter in this game. Russia by itself is a chapter in the world. But
right before that, we have the area of Europe.
Yeah.
So Russia is separated from Europe.
Yeah,
and Asia. Both of them.
And Asia.
You start in... Yeah, we should be more clear. You start the game in Asia after doing the prologue, and then you start... And Dokapon Castle is in Asia, and you start there, basically. You travel from Asia to Europe to Russia, North America, South America, Oceania, Africa. Then you go to the North and South Pole, and then the final area of the game is
Mu.
Man, can yeah, I was gonna say, no man, don't spoil everything.
It's Mu.
I'm just talking about the continents because it's the world.
It's Mu, bro.
Yeah.
It's Mu.
Yeah.
It's a mystical Mu. Right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I wasn't gonna go that far, but yeah, you get the point though of the world, like the 7 continents and the poles. But yeah, anyways.
Well, the 8 continents. Cool. Russia is its own continent.
Yeah, in this game.
The game calls them areas.
Yeah, they call them area.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's the same thing.
It's the same. We know what it's based
Asia
on.
area. Asia's pretty easy. Russia, Europe. Europe has some pretty valuable towns in
England.
And
Oh, another fun fact. I should mention this too. Unlike Dokapon Kingdom, where the towns scale to the end of the game, the town's value is usually based off the real world itself. Like which countries are richer or poorer, for example. Like most of the towns in the game.
Just why, despite being the last chapter that has towns, Africa is the poorest area.
Well,
not overall.
Well, there's the 2-3 towns that are really good.
Algeria,
but everything else.
Egypt, bro.
Egypt is the best town in the game value-wise, actually.
Like,
yeah.
I'll give you this, Wes. Egypt, Algiers, Ethiopia are all good towns, but everything else, it's about as good as Asia.
Yeah.
The only thing that helps Africa are like the local items, like Madagascar having cockroaches,
which, you know, negative status to
525,000.
Oh, here's another thing. Local items are very prominent in this game compared
to
Kingdom.
Way more prominent than Kingdom. Yeah, absolutely.
Because egg items, like, I want to imagine the black diamond in Kingdom, but times 10. That is a local item that can be farmed.
Cockroaches is 525 negative from Madagascar.
Yeah. Skull.
The skull from Venezuela is negative $250,000.
Yeah. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, this is devastating. How could they let that go? How am I ever going to have enough money to make up that? Well, there's this mechanic, which we call the World Peace Bank, which was mentioned already.
Yeah.
So in this game, you can invest. The premise of the game is that the king had his money stolen out of his bank in the World Peace Bank.
And he got very sad about that.
Yes, it was by Makonde, basically the boss of the game.
The villain.
Yeah, and we have to go make him some money back to fill up the bank.
So
and obviously, there's no limit. There's no limit to filling it up. We just give him all the money we get.
As long as you got money, you can put it right in the bank.
And we can give it to the castle or into the churches, the temples.
There's a church in every continent in the game, just like Dokapon.
Other than the poles.
I will preface that there's no castles in the world.
Yeah.
So there's most of the money that differentiates you when the towns get taken away is your World Peace Bank income.
It's World Peace Bank and local item value. That's going to be where most of your net worth is from after towns are done. It's those two things, but yeah.
And the money you put into the World Peace Bank does not come out. You do not get to...
You cannot withdraw. It's stuck in there.
There's no withdrawal.
It can be affected. The Darkling actually has the ability to cut it in half if he saves up a lot of the Darkling points. And it takes up
in the game, a lot. That might be better than taking all the towns back. That just shows you how powerful the World Peace Bank becomes.
Yeah. There's and the funny thing is, there are events with the World Peace Bank, but they seem really rare. I've only seen this once. There is a Robin Hood event where you steal World Peace Bank money from everyone. You steal 20%.
Honestly,
it's really rare.
A little part of me kind of wishes that you lose 100,000 local item value for cutting the World Peace Bank in half, because the king doesn't like losing money. But
that would be fair. I'd be okay with that, because local item value is dumb.
Well, that would make it even more unlikely that you would want to go Darkling.
Well, yeah, I just think it'd be funny within the context of the game.
Oh yeah, it'd be funny.
You're cutting my bank? Oh, I wouldn't like that.
That would be funny.
Well,
though. Yeah.
I mean, true, but you are cutting your own money too when you do that.
Oh, my $10! No.
Hey, just because you're a Darkling doesn't mean you only have $10 in the World Peace Bank.
Right. You know, you could like the player in our game, Noman. Me and Noman's game, where they had $6 million and they cut it in half on mistake.
Oh my god! They meant to hit Global Assault. They World Peace Bank. I had 6 million. Hero had like 1 million, and I cried basically because I lost like 3 million.
Because Noman lost his lead, and he had 4 million in the bank as well, so he lost 2 million.
He negged himself more by going Darkling. It was actually bad for him to go Darkling.
It was worse for him than it was for Hero. Sounds
and it was sad, and we both cried because he cried because it was a misplay and a mistake, and I cried because I lost my lead, and then Hero was winning because I had more money in the World Peace Bank, and I was sad as well.
A tragedy.
Yeah, and the worst part is Hero had more towns than me, so I was also sad. And he called me an imperialist the whole game, and he had more towns than me. I was sad.
I don't want to hear about that when, like, in general, Chapter 3, I got to do nothing.
Chapter 2, I was an imperialist. I'll give you that, but I'm not an imperialist anymore, though. Not now, at least.
No, now you gotta sound good for the stream. You changed your ways or something.
Well, world peace back aside. I think the game's cool. Yeah, there's no castles, so no getting castle investing
$5 million
local items.
Yeah, gems.
Yeah,
Dupe with alchemists.
And yeah, speaking of alchemists, that class doesn't exist in this game. They have
yes,
other
but actually
classes.
no. Yes, but actually no.
There's similar. There's classes that do some of the same thing, but
I do want to mention real quick,
parts of it.
on the topic of towns. In Dokapon the World, towns max at level 3 for investing. So once you invest twice, they're fully maxed.
They are now a city.
Yeah.
They go
village, town, city, right?
Yes.
Yep, perfect. Yep, that's how it works. And then when you invest at level 3, you have the most value, more tax money, and higher chance to spawn local items, I'm pretty sure, at level 3, it seems.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know about the chances, like that stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't know the exact formula, but I have to look more into it.
And there's definitely been a lot of times where I'm just waiting. I'm like, where's my item?
But basically, I do know this, the formula for the value is level 2. It increases it by 1.5 times, and then level 3, it doubles the level 1 value, so that it doubles the base value, for example. For example, Egypt is 200k, at max it's 400, and then level 2 is 300k, for example, for Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes from 100% to 150%
to 200. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how
I never actually noticed that.
I did notice that, because when I was filling out the wiki for the town's value, and then I realized the formula was consistent. I was like, wait, because Germany, fun fact, Germany and Italy are actually worth the same. They're both 120, and then I did the calcs, and they turn out to be the same. 180 for level 2, 240 for level 3. Yep, for value.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep, that's cool to know, actually. The formula for town investing is consistent. It seems pretty consistent like Kingdoms, how it worked, where it would, I think, what was it? It would double at level 3 hero, I believe, right? Its value. And then level 6, it was maxed, and yeah.
I thought it was maxed at level 7, though.
No, 6 was the max level in Kingdom for towns. Nope, it was level 6.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's enough talking about the towns, though. Explaining that.
Yeah. Yeah, towns, they are a great source of income, because something you'll probably take note of in this game is money can be kind of hard to come by at the start.
Yeah.
Just a little.
But once you play,
a lot of things cost a lot of money.
Yeah, equipment compared to Kingdom costs way more. Like magic and not field magic, but
not field magic,
battle magic,
equipment. Yeah,
battle magic,
weapons,
defensive
shields.
magic. Yeah,
those things cost a lot, and sometimes it can be a struggle. You actually need those towns. You actually need to focus on taking tax money out of your towns or villages or whatever.
Taxes are actually really good in this game as well. There's more tax money in this game than Kingdom as well, I've noticed.
Yeah.
The tax money's insane.
When you make a withdrawal of taxes in this game, you can get like for example, Musashi in Kingdom, I want you to imagine the amount of money it gives you times 10. We're talking
also,
oh wow.
Yeah.
You own all of Europe and their cities? $7 million.
Also, I want to mention Musashi in World seems more generous with his percentages, what he takes out. He seems way more generous, I feel like, from what I've seen. He usually gives you a great deal most of the time. But yeah.
I hear you.
And I know someone's going to say, oh, well, money... Okay, so money's a problem. I'm going to rob the weapon store, right? I mean, you can do that, but robbing in World is a lot more riskier for a big reason.
You mean the sermon?
Yeah, so basically, if you fail a robbery, the funny man called the sermon chases after you, and he's basically a robo-assassin, basically.
He's basically the police.
Yeah, he's basically the police. Yeah.
And he's going to send you to heaven or hell, because you broke the law.
The cool thing I will say though about robberies is if you win a weapon store robbery, you can pick the best shield or weapon. It's not RNG. You can actually pick which is nice.
I think that's very nice.
That is a nice addition. And if you win magic store robberies, you actually have a chance to win offensive or defensive magic, not just field magic, which is also pretty cool to see.
Agreed. You can get equipment from that.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool. And then item store, you just get items from a pool, like Kingdom.
Yeah,
there seems to be
items that are cool.
Yeah.
Rare items that you can't normally buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, I will say though, if you somehow can beat the sermon, you get a funny equipment called the police badge.
Badge.
Yeah, the police badge.
Yeah,
basically.
we'll say the police badge.
Yeah, and basically, you can just rob with no consequences. It's pretty funny. You just rob
the police.
It's a nice guy badge on crack.
Yep, you basically rob the place and say, "Hey, check out this cool badge. I'm the cops," and then you get away with it basically, even if you fail.
You're basically wanted for one single day.
Yep.
And if somebody actually manages to like psychokinesis you or something onto them and then kill you, sure, they'll get the bounty.
But that's very unlikely.
If your turn comes back around and they haven't killed you, and for the record, you can't claim the bounty
with field magic. You have to beat them in PvP.
Yeah, you have to beat in battle. And the Darkling can actually earn the bounty, by the way.
I actually did not know that. That's funny.
I tested that out with Fishy, actually.
Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty funny.
We saw that. I was kind of laughing.
But as a Darkling can't have. Does the Darkling keep the money after they finish? Or?
Yeah, they keep the money. They're
that's actually cool.
Money.
Oh, that's
cool. They just
cool.
walk around with like $1.2 billion or something, whatever the bounty was.
That's actually funny. Might be a good idea as punishment.
Yeah.
Like if you see someone's wanted and you get a good starting Darkling point, you could definitely just rob someone and
then hunt.
That might actually be a viable strategy for Darkling, hopefully. But anyways, yeah.
You know, at least dissuade people from robbing the store when there's a Darkling.
Yeah.
Because if they give a Darkling $800,000, not only do you give them levels, but you give them equipment money.
Well,
then the Darkling could choose to get rid of something as well off the person if they want to.
Well, you know, little things like that aside. In this game, I feel like we got off track in a lot of areas, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot to this game.
There is too much to this game to just.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
part 2.
I want to go back to some of the main points, though.
Sure.
Dokapon the World. I noticed that your thing says Dokapon Kingdom. That's funny.
It does? Oh, it does say on category. Oops.
Whoops. Throwing.
Yeah,
throwing.
You know, yeah, you definitely are throwing, but it's okay.
Okay, my bad. Updated.
You know, something I want to point out. The music in this game is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do like the music in Dokapon the World. Very nice.
Africa, it's literally just percussion.
But that's like a taste. There's a lot of, but yeah, I like it in that every different continent or area you in
has a
change the music.
That is actually nice because Kingdom's overworld theme's not bad, but you do get sick of it hearing it the whole game.
It gets to the point where you're like, please go. I need to go into a cave. I want to go.
Yeah, hear something up. Casino Cave or Lost Forest. I like
Lost Forest, definitely.
Yeah, I love Lost Forest theme. It's nice.
But yeah, I think that's my favorite in that game actually.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, but the world, you have a lot of different tracks depending on the areas, and I think that composer, he did a good job.
You know, he did.
He or she, but I'm pretty sure it's he. I forgot his name.
What? That's unacceptable. Go to jail. Do not collect.
You know we do need to talk about the game's art style and how it looks.
Oh yeah. In terms of the art, it is not 3D models like Kingdom.
Well, it's like 2.5D, I'd argue.
It's weird. Yeah, it's 2.5.
You have
it's
like
weird.
stick figures. It's by Yozo
It's like,
Koshiro, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually true. He did all
music.
the character design. Yep, he sure did.
Wait, he did the. I said he did the music.
No, I probably did the character designs.
My throwing.
I think he did both. Let me find out. Actually, let me look at both.
Well, considering that Kingdom was made by 6 people, I can consider it.
Let's see. Japanese music composer.
Here, I'm checking the sprite resource. It's on the sprite resource page.
Okay.
The fun fact: the character designs were made by Mine Yoshizaki. That's who it was.
Isn't that the same guy who did that frog thing?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Sergeant Frog, I think.
Sergeant Frog, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, these guys are the same people?
Yeah, he designed.
Oh my god, I loved Sergeant Frog growing up. That was such an adorable little show.
Yeah, he made Sergeant Frog and Kimono Friends fame. He did all the character designs of Dokapon the World. He did. Mine Yoshizaki.
I still remember the red frog from Sergeant Frog. Little kid.
Yeah.
God, everyone on that show was so fucking aggressive for
Wait a minute. Yuzo Koshiro also was a part of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate somehow.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
With some of the arrangements. Apparently.
I did not know that. Interesting.
The more you know. Yeah, the more you know. Persona Q. Alright, blah blah blah. There's a lot. You can look them up on the wiki. You'll see stuff.
I think the point Wes is making that a lot of good talent was made into this game.
He arranged the main Legend of Zelda and the Norfair theme for Brawl. Alright. I'm getting this. Super Smash. I need to stop looking at this. Okay. Wait, the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, I'm closing.
You might want to close that before you
closing. Back to Dokapon the World.
Yeah.
Where are we?
We're talking about
music's cool, the art style. Yeah, the art style is interesting. Sergeant Frog creator.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like you're a little game piece on a board.
Yeah, you're basically a game piece on a board, basically. What it's like a paper piece, basically.
Yeah, almost like Paper Mario-esque.
Yeah, it does definitely scream Paper Mario to me when I first played it.
But
that's what it reminded me of the most. Yeah.
Personally, it looks better to me than the 3D models that I've seen.
I like them. Yeah.
Because I don't know. Whenever I looked at the 2D versions of the Dokapon Kingdom characters, for instance, like online and stuff, I always thought, wow, those look cool. And in game, I'm like, this is a video game.
Keep in mind
it's like one of those taste things. I guess it's why people don't like 3D anime as much as 2D, pretty much.
I think a lot of that, though, probably has to do with the fact that, again, Dokapon Kingdom was originally made for the PS2, not for the Wii. So it didn't really, it wasn't really built with the idea of taking advantage of the new 3D models of the time. So it was kind of running similar to the DX engine, but just slightly polished. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And DX was on the GameCube, keep in mind. So.
Yeah, DX was a GameCube game. Yep.
GameCube. Huh. The more you know.
I think for what the resources they had, it's pretty solid 3D. Especially if you compare it with other 2006 games of the time.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 2007, but...
Yeah, it was 7.
Yeah, speaking of time periods, Dokapon the World came out in 2004?
Yep, it was 4.
2004.
Yeah. And I think they released the second version of it like a couple years later, which is just the same, I guess.
Yeah, there was another version, but we're not sure what the differences are.
Yeah.
Like, we're curious. That's kind of like a lost media kind of thing that we're not sure about at the moment.
Yeah, it appears like it was just a cheaper version. Like, they just lowered the price. And they also took off the... who were the people who made this game?
Asmik Ace.
Asmik Ace.
So what, they put Sting on it?
Yeah, they took one of them off. I think
Probably Asmic Ace,
Yeah,
because this was Asmic's Ace last Dokapon game before they sold the rights to Sting.
They might have, because keep in mind, Dokapon the World was actually co-made. Asmic Ace and Sting.
And Sting, yeah, they co-made it. Yeah,
they co-made it, and I guess
but when they re-released it, they
removed Asmic Ace.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of weird, but
it's probably because Asmic Ace moved on at that point.
Asmic Ace had relinquished its property rights, and as a result, gave Sting full authority on the Dokapon franchise.
So basically, they re-released it just so that when they sell it, only they get the money instead of
It's kind of petty, but also understandable.
It was a literal same game.
Yeah,
well, at least they made it cheaper. So.
Well, it's probably not as cheap as it was anymore, unfortunately.
I think it went from like a $60 game to a $40 or something, or maybe $20, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Considering it was re-released only 2 years later, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
This is a Japanese only game, so.
Yeah, it's a Japanese PS.
That's something that holds a lot of people back from playing the game.
Yeah.
If you don't have Japanese experience. Or if you don't feel like using translators to figure out everything as you go. And if you were trying to emulate this or something like that, or use a translator software, it's not that easy with the PlayStation type stuff.
2 has some pretty baked textures.
Yeah, because you also need a Japanese BIOS. And the worst part is, even if you don't want to emulate it and you had a physical copy, you also need a Japanese PS2, which sucks because the BIOS is on it. So yeah, playing this game is not the easiest to do for many reasons, and that's, I think, a big reason why a lot of people have not gotten into this game. The language barrier, how it was released in Japan only, the lack of info also as well.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Sting, you better be taking notes here.
Yeah. Because there's a new game called Dokapon Up that we... Alright, never. We'll save that
let's save that for another day.
Yeah. Anyways, with Dokapon the World, though, I think... Every time I think about this game, I just can't help but going back to the class system, the job system, because it's so cool, I guess. Yeah.
Just the amount of options and variety is crazy.
The variety is what I really enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I've played plenty of Kingdom, and I like Kingdom to a point right now, still. However, I will admit that I was getting a little tired of... Like, one of the things I don't really like about Kingdom is that you can't really be a hero.
I mean, you can, but you're throwing the game. You can't win.
I mean, you kind of can make the same argument with, like, Royal.
With the Royal?
Oh, no, Royal you definitely can. I agree with that. I'm not saying Royal you can't either.
Yeah, I want to say that with the hero class and the Robo Knight class, it was actually... It felt like it was abnormally difficult to even reach that point, let alone have a chance at it. And when I look at the Royal class in the world, it feels like it's just an inevitability. Personally, I think it's actually not that hard to do. Like, as long as you have, because based on what I forget the exact numbers I put down, but it doesn't take it doesn't take anything crazy. Granted, you need to have both Darklings, and that's a tall order.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's already a tall order.
That's the only restriction, really. That
if you didn't need both if you didn't need both Darklings, oh my god, Royal would actually be decently easy if you didn't.
You guys have to remember also that, like, for some classes you also need the master. For example, to get access to gamblers, you need that the master jobless. If you're male, that means you need to get an alien, which
female is easier. Female is technically
easier. If you're a male trying to be a royal, that means you have to do some RNG to get alien.
Oh no, I'm not saying there aren't stuff. I'm not saying there isn't stuff like that.
I think there's.
But here, I want you to compare please, Hero, compare the RNG of waiting for possibly you or anyone to get the alien so you can become it.
For everyone, that means
versus
you need a cell phone, a kaite, and you can't
yeah,
buy those.
like yeah, you can't, but you do know exactly which creature has it. And there's a really cool class called the Pirate or Thief class, which, oh, spoiler alert, by the way, guys, since we didn't talk about this yet, but Steel in this game guarantees that you're going to take whatever droppable item the monster you're fighting would drop. So if there's a monster that you know has a really cool weapon, sword, item, magic, whatever, you can fight it, and as long as you get a turn to attack, steal their thing. Guarantee. And as I just mentioned, the pirate class, which in this game you need the thief and the fighter or the warrior, whatever.
Yeah.
Once you do those, and then you have to rescue a town in Europe, spawn the pirate lings, whatever. You fight Pirate Viral, whatever you call her. And that's how you unlock the pirate class. And this gives you the ability to steal and escape at the same time.
Which makes you, in a lot of ways, a very annoying person to deal around.
Because when you're in the escape phase, you cannot be hit by field magic, so you're actually safe for the whole game. On top of that,
you can cheese the hell out of bosses.
Oh yeah. If you're doing terribly, time to escape. I'll be back later. I'll be back.
Yeah, because that reminds me of another mechanic in this game where if you use an item or some kind of ability,
you fight the monster.
Yeah, whatever. Other than movement-based things, if you use like a potion or a magic
field
magic, or even a character ability, which I need to go into in a sec.
Yeah.
Then you will fight whoever's on that same space as you.
Yeah.
As long as you're on a fightable space,
as long as you're on an empty space.
A really funny thing you could do,
or there's a battle there already,
is you could fight someone, say, all right, time out, and then you leave, and if they have like a paralyze or foot sore
or down or something,
or something that's
imagine there's 3 people in a fight.
Yeah, you could literally just tag team out of it and then come back whenever they're weaker, and then just hi, I'm here again.
There was one time 6. Yeah. There was one time 6. I was doing bad against your early Europe fight, so I gave up. But I had a down. So then when I came back, I used down and then beat him and then leveled up. After I came back and gave up, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm back. He's down on it, and then I beat it, and I took Italy from it.
That's pretty hilarious. And that's cool. I think it's cheesy, but it's still
a good
cool.
Kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it's a good cheese.
It's I like this mechanic. It makes you have to think to use that, and it's positioning based. You can plan for it, whatever. But the pirate class, are we going to talk about all the classes?
Probably, because one of
the main things you guys want to mention.
I feel like we can just go through all the classes.
We can.
I'm pretty sure I was making a point that you can steal the cell phone, the K-tie.
Yeah,
reliably. It's pretty reliable if you go into that final Mu area, and go in the waters and find that tentacle monster.
But I think at that point of the game, though, Wes,
the game's probably going to end.
The game's going to probably end, so to say that you can steal the Royal...
No, listen. The Royal class is something that's going to take you many, 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 many weeks to get. I think you can't get it with the... Hold on. I think it'll take around... somewhere in the 240s to 250s range of wins. Maybe it's 230s, I forget.
Which would require...
So to get that many battle wins, it's gonna take more than 50 weeks of gameplay, for sure.
The only problem is, some
usually
RNG,
around 100.
I'll tell you what the biggest problem is, even if you do female. This funny boss called Alyssa to get the queen job, because it's probably the hardest fight in the game. That's not even a joke, by the way.
Yeah, you're true, but
I'm not saying Royal.
If you're prepared, you can handle it.
I'm not saying you can't get Royal. It's just
I'm saying
I'd like to replace the final boss in the game with Elise, except it's even more kink shaming.
Look, Hero, if you need to get cell phones that badly and it takes all the way to the end of the game, that means all you had to do was just focus on every other class. Because it's not like you actually have to master these.
Well, here's
classes.
how you get. Honestly, here's how you get a cell phone. You get the sheriff's badge, the police badge from Pirate, and then you just rob stores because you can get that as an item.
Yeah, that's really what you have to do.
I mean,
but that's what you probably should.
The time you're wasting robbing stores is time you could be earning class levels for.
Well, I'm saying you could do that after.
Right, but like there would have to come to a point where by chapter 6 or chapter 7, you have mastered already all those classes.
Yeah.
So...
Also, 6, you do still need a cell phone for a different job, regardless of gender.
You mean for guts?
Yeah, you need a cell phone for guts.
But that's only
so you need two
jobs.
Cell phones.
Well, 2 for male. Well, 2 for male.
1 for male,
1 for female, and 2 for male. But you don't necessarily need to worry about that. Because, I mean, I'm going to say this. Guts kind of comes pretty often.
Yeah, guts is common. I'm just saying if you're really...
kind of common.
Yeah.
You'll probably get them.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be worried about, oh, I need a cell phone. What you should be worrying about is, I need to master the Warrior of the Night. Basically,
all
you
the
need
tier
to
1
master
and
Night.
tier 2 jobs. All the tier 1 and tier 2 jobs.
Master all the tier 2s, like tier 1s and tier 2s.
Because you need the tier 2s for the tier 3s, and then you need all the tier 2s for Robo Knight from Guts.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, or they call it Machine Body. But
yeah, it's called Machine Body, but it's known as Robo Knight.
And as for the alien, they actually call it ET.
Yeah, funny. I think it plays exactly how ET did in real life, where it's just one little thing and it falls apart.
Oh, well, how about that? It's a good thing it gets 50 HP per level.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that there's this event that deletes Great Disaster for everyone, and everyone loses all their items and jobs.
And their
job.
And their jobs. Great event.
You can just go back. It just depends on the situation. And if you're really unlucky, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we're not going to worry about that. Right?
Right?
The point is that I think the Royal is a lot more feasible. Because you don't need specifically to get the Angel Wing. Because how are you supposed to farm Rico Jr.?
Go to Daunting Mountain.
Go to the Daunting Mountains when there's a Darkling around.
My thing about Hero and Kingdom, my problem is not the conditions for getting it. It's more so how fast that game can be completed because of striking monsters. I think that's the actual problem, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that game can be done within, 40 weeks maybe?
40, 50 weeks, yeah. That's not even a joke. You could just ninja rush. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. But I think it's really annoying that you actually have to master those jobs. You have to master the ninja. You have to.
Well, the other problem is they're all the same wins. They're all 35.
I think though that it's not unfeasible to master those jobs. Like if you do, hear me out here. If you do thief, magician, alchemist, or thief, magician, warrior, all 3, and then depending on the state of the game, you could do ninja, lockdown spam, and just farm classic speed until you mastered that. Then go to alchemist, start pelting magma DXs at whoever tries to do objective or ice DX.
But you don't need alchemist. You need the.
Oh yeah, you need ninja and spell sword. My bad. You can use Well, if it's just spell sword, right? Then I think you can probably do spell sword then ninja. Sorry.
You probably do acrobat.
But actually, it takes 210 wins to be ready for the hero class.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Plus, you need the license. Well, I think the other problem.
I think the license is the easy part.
No, well, the problem is if you're playing with toxic people, they can just purse cutter it and then you lose it. And then
I mean, yeah.
I don't think it's that easy to hold on to.
No, because
don't forget, you also need to get
back
the
to
acrobat.
Yeah,
which is why I think the best class you should be when you're getting that should be ninja, because you should be getting levels on speed so you can hold on to it. You have the biggest item inventory, so it's less likely to get it purse cuttered.
Yeah.
It's either ninja or alchemist, but you don't need alchemist. That's the problem, because alchemist duping it, but you don't need it, so that's the thing.
You don't need multiple.
Don't forget that purse cutter takes multiple items.
Yeah, in Kingdom it does.
Unlike in this game.
Also, I do recommend that if you get a copy of the hero license, you should keep it, because I was in a game with someone in Kingdom where they had an extra copy of the hero's license, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lose it, guys. Come on, it's in my. I don't need an extra one." Then the king
He
gave
died.
it to me for killing a boss
from
monster.
Red Monster, I'm dead.
Yeah,
That's
and I was
funny.
like, oh, cool. I don't need this.
Throw away.
Yeah, I threw it away. And he was devastated. The same thing happened to another player with Lost Technology in Chapter 5.
I had this happen in a game of Kingdom where someone was in Casino Cave, and then I beat the Red Monster, stole their soul ticket, and gave it to me. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, and I'm definitely gonna use it. Like, Acrobat's cool, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, Jesus, that's so mean. But yeah, back to like talking about Royal or Royalty.
Back to the word. Yeah, with Royal, based on what I just said, since it's only takes 210 wins to be ready to be a hero in King. But in the world, like with Kingdom, you need to have the items, and you need to travel all the way up to the heaven and to get the license, and then you need to go all the way back to the castle. In this game, you can change your jobs at job centers, not the castle.
No, you do not have to go to Dokkan Castle to change your job.
And the job centers, the buildings, are open Monday through Friday, and they are in every area.
Continent. There's one in every continent.
Other than the poles, of course, but we're not talking about... Nobody lives in the poles.
Yeah.
Even though, for some reason...
That's not true. There's the store people who live inside.
Yeah, but I honestly...
But besides that...
I don't know why they're there, if I'm being real. I don't know. I'm starting to think.
There's one in the North and South Pole, like West. Like, come on, man.
I know. I'm confused. How did he travel all the way up there? Are they like Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny? They're just copies.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's all brothers and sisters.
Probably.
It really do be.
And cats.
And cats.
Yeah.
Cats are not excluded.
Yeah, the magic store person is a cat, kittens. By the way. Okay, well, I'm gonna ignore that. I think right now, like, even here's the thing: when I play Kingdom, I feel like I need to go hero to add some spice into my life, right? But I feel like with the world, there's a lot of spice just littered everywhere, and Royal isn't even the thing I'm worried about. Because you have actually awesome classes.
There's
like
other
the grappler.
classes. Yeah.
They're like the grappler. And even like we were just talking about, the pirate. The gambler, which we barely touched on, but like, and even just the regular final levels of your warrior into knight, or fighter knight into swordmaster, or mage, archmage, necromancer, and priest, high priest into exorcist. Yeah, like these are the classes that I'm just like, this is freaking cool. Even the monster master, the monster tamer, monster master, they call it, whatever. And
everything,
there's also the shaman, but even before the shaman, you could go the dancer, and that class is pretty cool.
I think dancer's underrated right now.
Dancer is definitely one of the strongest classes in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really good. Yeah,
and when you go from dancer to queen, sometimes you might feel like you're throwing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you are throwing.
It depends. But the queen class, don't mistake that for the royal. Well, you know what? It's a cool class. Well, let's put it that way. I think if there's some people out there into certain things, if you want to meet somebody who you might call an M, I guess, she would be your M, all right?
You're trying really hard to stay to this bit, huh?
Her dominatrix, if you will.
She is the dominator. Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. Who was that? Never mind. I was gonna say she reminds me of Midnight from
My Hero Academia.
Yeah. But
yes, Wes is indeed a MHA fan.
Huh. Well, I mean, I've been reading it for a while. And
yeah. I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, 6. But some of the classes are gender only as well.
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are gender specific jobs.
After
Like,
all,
the dancer
a man
is female
can't
only.
dance.
Nope, a man can't dance.
A male dancer. I mean, they can dance, but
It's not the
if
same.
you've seen what the dancer's wearing, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
hey, don't king shame right now. You just talked
okay.
about the queen, okay, Wes?
All right. Well, what about the monk?
Are you saying women can't concentrate?
No. I was just gonna say, let's talk about the monk now. The counter to the dancer, or the male version of that.
Like from the class tree, from the class tree basically, or job tree.
Yeah. And a female monk is in Kingdom, actually. Funny enough.
Yeah, monk is in Kingdom.
Yep. Whereas in this game, it's not the same exact monk class.
Like, it works a little different mechanically.
Yeah, actually, everything about it is different.
Except the HP mastery part, which is great. But yeah, HP mastery is nice.
But it is a male only route. However, it's it leads into the grappler, which this one does remind me of the Kingdom Monk.
Yeah, it's like on steroids though. Jesus, like its abilities.
No, I think this is a good time to bring up something that the jobs can do in this game. One of the other reasons why I like it so much. There are certain jobs, many certain jobs, that give you the ability to activate their job-specific skill on the field.
Yeah.
Rather than always being based on chance.
Because a lot of them in Kingdom were either chance or they were just passive ones, like Magician or Ninja, just using items, basically. Like 2 items or 2 field magic. Alchemist was passive and chance, etc., etc.
Passive, chance-based. There's some of those in this game, of course.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Thief class. The Thief, instead of just stealing items whenever you pass through somebody.
You use like an item trickster.
You activate an item trickster.
Yeah, it has a chance to fail as well. Like
it can fail.
Yep.
And when it fails, you're just out of luck. And whether you succeed or fail, you don't get to use your bag. So you can't use your spinners or spells.
Yeah, it counts as using an item for the turn.
But using this ability does, and since it can target anyone on the map, it's good. But it also triggers that situation where if you're on a space where you could fight something,
you'll fight it.
It'll start the fight. So there's that. But so I think that, because this is something you can consciously choose to do, is really cool, and it makes the classes even more interesting.
Yeah, I think my favorite example of what they changed in the world was Robo Knight's ability. Oh my god, it is so much better in Dokapon the World compared to Kingdom.
So if you know, in Kingdom, the Robo Knight, you get the field skill is randomly you get a multi-crystal activation, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this game, you just decide, I want a multi-crystal this turn. So you activate your field skill, and now you get to go to any space you want within 6 spaces.
Yep. And the funny thing is, it overrides Footsore, which is
Now that I think is probably an oversight. But
that's an oversight, but it's pretty cool though, and a great mechanic.
Speaking of Footsore, in this game, it's actually transforming you into a frog, which is funny.
Yeah. Speaking of,
I wonder why the guy who made Sergeant Frog made people turn into frogs. That's crazy.
What a concept.
Who knows? The Frogify spell. Whatever.
Oh, speaking of frogs, I think another class that really incentivizes using field magic, or not field magic, but field ability on their turn at your choice is the ninja, probably. That's like the biggest example.
Oh, I thought you were going to say necromancy.
Yeah,
no, not
necromancy is what I was thinking.
No, ninja, what I was going to say, because ninja has so many options.
Dude, the ninja is the cool... I think the ninja is still my favorite class, actually.
It's not my favorite, but it is really good in the world.
I wonder
it's
if
very
it's really balanced, if you think about it.
I don't think it's
compared to abilities, it's the most loaded ability.
Oh, it's loaded like crazy. Yeah, it's loaded. Jesus.
But it's what you expect from a ninja. Honestly, it is kind of overpowered.
No, it's
I think it's kind of busted.
Oh, it is busted. It's one of the best.
I think it shouldn't have both. Well, actually, explain how it works first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk. I can look the ninja.
Yeah.
The ninja class. Its field skill, like the battle skill, is the same as Kingdom. It can assassinate.
Yeah,
potentially.
Compared to Kingdom, compared to Kingdom, it works mechanically different on the field. Like
on the field. you can activate the ability, and then one of 4 things or 5 things.
It's 5.
I think it's 5. Yeah,
5.
You can do one of 5 ninjutsu that we're calling. You can just vanish.
Yeah,
turn
you just
yourself
vanish
invisible.
on yourself. Yep.
So that problem of, oh man, I can't buy vanishes. Oh well, here you go. Play this class and you get it for free. And you can just activate whenever you want. Of course, when you're vanished, you can't fight, but yeah.
That's actually something you might appreciate in Dokapon.
Yeah, you might appreciate
Yeah, because the Darkling field magic being done. We should also get the field magic.
I'm not even talking about Darkling, man. Some
field magic. Yeah.
Some monsters on the field are just annoying to deal with.
Yeah, or maybe there's an assassin chasing you. Maybe you just robbed the store and it didn't go as well as you hoped.
Time to vanish. Time to poof. Goodbye.
By the way, robbing the store is still the weekly bonus for the ninja. So
yeah,
and it has a built-in workaround for failing to drop the store.
Yeah, you can just vanish.
He literally just goes like, time to go invisible.
Yep. Bye.
But another thing it can do that also helps it avoid battle is turns itself into stone in a way.
Yeah, you can use a rock costume on yourself.
Yeah, so you give yourself a rock costume. So you're just a wall, and you can actually chain these on top of each other.
Yeah, they stack.
Yeah, you can it's not just one or the other at a time. You can use all 5 technically.
You can stack all of them if you really want to. If you want to be that annoying, you can. You can stack all.
Yes,
of them. You can be a stone invisible frog.
Yes, about the third ability, you can turn yourself into a frog, which basically means you're giving yourself a footsore.
Which can be used very strategically in certain scenarios. Like if you want to go to some space or block someone or land on something, etc., etc. It's very...
if you need to get into if you just need one space to go into the cave so you can go fight the boss or something.
Land on the boss or
whatever.
Land on a certain space.
Now you are stuck as a frog for a few turns though.
You have to free wood crystal in that.
Honestly, I don't think it's a problem because you could always carry a panacea and then undo it and then keep going. Yeah.
A really cool strategy you can do with ninja is you could technically explain the 4th ability real quick.
Oh, well, I don't know which strategy you're going to say.
I mean the town ward one, not the...
Okay, yeah. I was going to say...
Yeah, because the 4th one's actually direct, but yeah.
The next one is town ward.
The 4th ability, we'll say, is where you can teleport. You can jump, and you just jump to any... It could be any random town. Or
as long as it's accessible.
Yeah. I mean, if in story mode, there's towns that aren't accessible yet until you open the area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's literally just a town ward ability, and it could be useful if you wanted to. I don't know.
You want to move somewhere. You want to invest. You want to get away. You have a charm potion you want to use on someone's town. There's a lot of good scenarios.
And there's also one other which involves the 5th ability, which is
setting traps. Yeah,
you just set a trap for free.
Mm-hmm. And traps in Dokapon the World can be really dumb and stupid compared to Kingdom. Yeah, they can be really dangerous.
I mean, I think they're dangerous.
A trap can literally do a set amount of damage. It scales in time. Like I remember I stepped in Africa, I lost 80% of my HP pool and died.
Yeah, sleepy time.
What kind of trap did that?
It was a random trap the boss.
It was the super damage trap.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he just died. It was a lot of damage. It was one of the boss.
It was the game we were in, Wes.
Are you sure that it didn't combine with a nitroglycerin or something?
No, that was me.
I didn't have
nitroglycerin. No. No, that was me hitting him when I was arch.
I had 400 HP. And my max HP was 950, and it did half my HP pool exactly in terms of damage, and I died.
Yeah. No, you're thinking the nitroglycerin you're thinking of is when I was archmage and had earthquake, and he procced it. But yeah.
Yeah. Any kind of damage, even poison, can proc nitroglycerin in this game.
Yep, and it can kill you actually.
And it can kill you now.
It does not set you to 1. It kills you straight up. You will die
if it does enough damage to kill you. Yeah. If you don't have enough health, it'll kill you. But I've lived through it before, of course. Actually, I did that today. But anyways, because of HP. Yeah, so the ninja has those 5 abilities. Turning invisible, turning into a rock, turning to a frog for a foot sword, warping to any random town, or setting a trap wherever you stand.
Yep.
So,
There is a limit to how many. I learned through this game that there's a limit to how many traps you can put on the field at once, though. So, yeah.
something interesting I considered as an idea is if you have the police badge as a ninja, what you could do is town warp and rob every town for like it's actually the tax
salary. Yeah, maximum salary.
You basically force people to have to always go to investment spaces and pull out their money early. Because you simply can threaten everyone's like tax returns from their towns, which is more or less
and you get a job salary.
The main source of money in this game.
Yeah, it's taxes, and then it's like local item. I would say is the second most.
Wow. Sure. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's based on the towns themselves, but
what's up? Local items or taxes?
Both. They both come from
of course. Yeah. Like the towns themselves have value.
The towns giving you access to the money.
Yeah, giving them the access
means you want to have towns.
Yeah, of course. The access is nice. But
the money you get from the towns will eventually far exceed the value of the town itself.
Oh, it absolutely does. The resources you get from the towns are better than just the towns by themselves, like compared to Kingdom, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the Kingdom towns, like some of them are worth over $1 million in the end, or
the best one in the game is 3.5 million. Paramata, I believe, is 3.5 million
at the max level.
Yeah, at level 6, it is 3.5 mil.
Just there's nothing like that in the world.
No, the highest value town is
400K
right? At max
which
value.
Is Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt. Yeah. At max investment is 400,000.
That's definitely different.
Yeah, for sure. Towns are definitely scaled down a lot more in the game, like value-wise themselves. For sure. Yeah.
And wait a minute, that means that the castle in the final area can be 7 million?
Yes.
In Kingdom? Wow.
Yep, the final castle is 7 million.
Correct. It can
That's kind of crazy.
$7 million.
Yep.
That is kind of crazy. Okay, anyways. Yeah. So the ninja is really cool.
Yeah, ninja's really good. I won a game because of it, because like I was getting bullied by field magic and I wasn't doing so well. I had towns. I'm like, I'm gonna go ninja and just win the game. So what I did was I went invisible and I just spammed frog on investment states, get local items and taxes, and put it in my bank account, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And then someone went royal and tried to like get money from Dokapon Castle. So what I did was I sat my ass by Dokapon Castle, frog trap, and I think you can figure it out what happened.
Yep. So, yeah. It's one of the funniest things seeing somebody land on a trap when they're about to land on.
I also rode block costumes because then they couldn't get in the castle if I was standing on top of it.
I think traps are too disgusting in the world. Like, Jesus.
It is random.
Oh, they are gross.
Especially disgusting.
Well,
it's especially disgusting considering the fact that like Darkling can very easily spam like traps. And like those traps
that's only for the first Darkling.
Right. Only for the first Darkling. But keep in mind that those traps are not locked to that chapter or that continent specifically.
They could be anywhere in the world.
So you can literally make the late game hell on Earth for anyone if you feel like you want us to have a bad time.
Traps
you
everywhere.
Literally just everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you wasting all your points? And then when they get to chapter 4 and they're landing on 3 different sleepy times, like, where the hell did all these traps come from?
Remember when in our game, Hero, I landed on...
It's not likely to happen.
It's not, but it can.
Sleepy times in a row. But
I do want to mention, though, remember in the game we played, Hero, in the Chapter 4 boss, I landed on him, and there was a Frady Cat trap on top of him on the stage. That was so stupid.
And then it prevented you from fighting him.
Yeah, and I couldn't fight the boss, and I was stuck in there, and I had to wait for Frady Cat, and it was so...
That's so crazy.
And the boss set the trap there, too. That's actually comical. He literally secured his safety.
From you, at least.
Yeah, and the worst part is I'm pretty sure he healed right after. He healed after I hit him with field magic, and then I had to wait to fight him again.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, really stupid. Traps are kind of dumb in Dokapon the World, if you ask me. They're really silly.
It gives more value to them.
Yeah,
you probably don't even think about them in Kingdom.
Yeah, unless it's like Sleepy. Traps are definitely more dangerous in the world. It seems like on average.
I mean, on average, I just think they're more prevalent.
Oh, they definitely are more prevalent. Yeah, they absolutely are more prevalent in the world. No questions asked.
But that also brings up the Trap Dodger item, which is not only, well, more helpful in those cases, but it also lets you dodge negative statuses
on red
loot spaces.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. Like, you can gamble on red loot safely. That's actually pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it can also avoid the damage space if you land on it. You know,
it also protects you on the 50-50 white loot space, right? If you get
the white loot space,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, for the record, white loot space in this game is not just it's not the Kingdom white loot space. It's just
50-50.
There's two things you can get.
Yeah, it's either really good or it's terrible. It's 50-50 basically.
And they usually seem to be opposites of each other. Like either you'll get
I know a good example actually.
You'll get charge all or you'll get downed.
One I saw was you either get wanted for a week or you get the wanted field magic spell. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw by the way, there's a spell that you can use to make somebody wanted. And I think it also
it doubles the bounty. It doubles the bounty. Yep.
It doubles the bounty for that player.
Yep, it sure does. It's really dumb, honestly.
Yeah. Just make sure you have enough speed to hit. But
honestly, if you could claim field magic, or if you could claim bounties with field magic in World, no one would rob ever, unless they had the badge. To be honest, because it would be really
badge, or if they were a ninja.
Yeah, if they were a ninja and then they go invisible. Yeah.
And maybe if they're the pirate and they can like escape.
Bam, escape. That's true, but that's
you do need to go first.
You gotta go first, though. Yeah.
If it's and sometimes when you land on an empty space, you might get an event instead of a fight.
Yep.
And that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
But
what other classes are there that are funny that we can talk about?
A lot of funny. Well,
talk about pirate. Talk about ninja.
I mean, the X. I feel like we should. I don't know. Should we just random classes? Because that's kind of what we're doing. You could order it. Because I was about to say the Exorcist is kind of funny.
Oh, Exorcist is funny. I agree. It's a really funny class.
And it is the third level of the priest line, or a cleric, however you think about it.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's a class that gives you defense on mastery. On levels, you're mainly getting HP. You're not getting any speed, though. So, unless you've mastered a speed class already, then you'll get a point of speed. But the priest line, priest into high priest, both of them are kind of similar. The high priest is just an upgraded version of the priest. Priest is just the cleric from Kingdom, where your field skill is random heal.
Yeah.
And your battle skill is you choose to heal. The high priest, the field skill can also heal your statuses.
Yeah.
Whereas the battle skill also it'll increase your defense when you heal. And I think it has more of a heal for both things. Yeah, it's just like a higher percent heal, I think. Whereas the Exorcist,
it's just miracle.
The field skill is a miracle serum.
Yep, and it heals everything in the game, including the Z Plague. It's like, hey, Z Plague gone.
It's still random. It's still
random proc, but it's still very strong.
But it's good for you to just suddenly have no worries. You're set. And the battle skill, well, if you know anything about the special class in Kingdom, the Joker. Wait, what's it called? Acrobat. Yeah. If you know the Acrobat, and think about this class as a better version of that, in that you can choose to pray to God for the light of heaven to keep you alive.
And it will work.
In other words, you just gave yourself the ability to revive. That's your battle skill.
Now it costs you your offensive turn, but if you don't,
you lose a turn doing that. And if you die in one hit,
then that's actually a gain, because your opponent's gonna have to kill you. You come back with full HP, not half, full HP.
Yeah, full HP.
And now they're still injured. And
they're still in the fight.
So you can just drag
it's a good thing. It's a good thing it's really hard to one-shot this class, since it gives you 20 HP per level,
Yeah, not including mastery
and defense and magic. One defense, one magic. Not including any mastery points you have, which you definitely will have to get to Exorcist.
Yeah, all defense, Lamau.
Yeah, all defense, sure. You'll have at least +3 defense as an Exorcist per level. Because you have to master Priest and High Priest. But that being said, that class is really cool because of that. And there's other classes that are good for this kind of specialization, like the Warrior Knight Swordmaster.
Yep.
Again, the Knight is similar, just like how the Priest and the High Priest are, like, High Priest is just the upgraded version.
Yeah.
The Warrior is basically, the Fighter is basically the Warrior in Kingdom, where you randomly attack boost, or in battle, you choose the game.
Yeah,
And then the Knight is where the field skill, you can gain attack randomly, but you also might gain defense. It's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And the battle skill, it's the same as the initial, but it also has a 1 in 3 chance to increase your defense as well.
Yeah,
so
it's
you
called
can double.
I believe.
And then Swordmaster adds speed into
the Swordmaster.
Yeah.
So the Swordmaster, the field skill, if it procs, and it's a 1 in 5 chance, based on the guidebook, that you will get attack, defense, and speed all raised by an extra 50%. And the battle skill
is called
crit. So this is different though, where it's not an attack boost, but it is a little critical strike, basically.
It's called absolute.
You basically get to use a strike that cannot be blocked. However,
it's an unblockable strike.
It has a hit
but its hit rate is booty cheeks.
Its hit rate is based on the amount of HP you have remaining.
Well,
so the lower
in other words, the less HP, the more likely it is to hit.
Yep.
So if you're low HP or even half, because I've seen it hit when someone's at full HP before, and I was kind of like, wow.
Oh, wow.
What the heck? When it happened to me, of course. But let's not talk about that. If you're at low HP and they didn't kill you, you basically get to strike them without getting countered.
Yep.
Take this smack, and that's that. It's very, very strong. Very painful.
Yeah. And it's funny ability, because a story boss in the game has Swordmaster's ability, and it's pretty infamous.
Red Berry King, actually.
Yep, he does. He has it. It's pretty funny.
You don't one-shot him. He's probably gonna send you back
someone I played with got killed by that ability twice in the same session. Actually, I'm not even kidding. He came back after dying. Oh, he never healed himself. He used his ability and he died again.
Farewell.
Yep, he died to the ability again. I also died to a skeleton in chapter 4 that had that ability, and he was at full HP, and I was pretty sad about that. He just killed me on the spot like that. Yeah, so it's a really silly ability. Anyways, that's enough about talking about that dumb ability. But
okay. Well, we could go to the mage, which is just like the Kingdom Mage.
Yeah, it has Meditate also.
And you get to use 2 field spells. Whatever. But I see the widgets working. Then there's the Archmage.
Oh god, tell about the Archmage.
So the Archmage.
Where do we start with this class?
All right. Well, we'll start with the field skill. So you know how we just said the mage lets you use 2 field skill.
How about 3 a turn? Why not?
How about 3?
Because why not? That's neat.
Why not? And something we didn't bring up, obviously yet, if not made obvious, is that field magic in this game. Let's just say the multipliers are a little higher than Kingdoms.
You wanna share an example like of comparing like Flash Bomb and Kingdom to this game, like for example? Because don't you have like
Flash Bomb and Kingdom's multiplier was what, 5?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 4 or 3?
I need to check again. I thought it was higher than that. Was it
I
5?
think it was 5.
Because remember, no man, he's using the normal multiplier. When we talk about things with battle magic and kingdom, we usually double that number.
Oh right, yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
It's 10 for the skill that Noman's using, which is accurate.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, it's a multiplier of 5, and it's based on double the player's magic, and then you subtract, like double the attacker's magic, and then subtract the defender's magic, and then you multiply it by 5. All right. Mm-hmm. So you can think of it as 10 if you want, but you have to do the subtraction first. Is what I'm saying. Then you do the multiplier. But anyways, Flash Bomb in the world is actually an 8 multiplier. And that's also not even the strongest spell in the game.
Yeah. How much is Strong Magma, if you remember?
The strongest fire magic in the game, field skill, is a 9 times multiplier. And that's 3. You can have 3 of those.
A turn of Archmage.
That means you can do 27. 20. That effectively means somebody is taking 27 times the difference of your magic when their magic is doubled.
Yep.
27 times that in one turn. Somebody's dying.
Someone with 340 magic times 2, then times 27.
680. Imagine doing 680 times 27 damage to somebody.
Yeah, I just nuke them on the spot.
Well, honestly, they're already dead by the first mag.
999 damage.
They are dead by the time you did the first mag, honestly.
And you can do that 2 more times.
You know, it's a good thing it's not... Hey, it's okay. It's not actually easy to get a level 3 mag. Level 2... Well, that's a 3.5 multiplier. Level 1 is 2.5. And honestly, 3.5, if you're an Archmage, you can get 3 of those.
Yeah.
Which is 10.5.
A turn.
That's good enough for doing what you need.
Yeah.
And even the level 1 magma is triple that is 7.5. Which, and this is just the magma. Every single one of these just was... That's a higher damage potential than the Flash Bomb of Kingdom. Granted, in Kingdom, you can, if you're a magician, you can use 2 Flash Bombs, and that would be 10 times. But Flash Bomb is kind of rare. And yeah, that's one of the scary things about Dokapon the World. One of the things that really makes magician, magic specifically, especially the Archmage, a true menace.
Archmage, as soon as you see Archmage, someone go Archmage, it's like, oh, it's time to lock their bag. No, do not let them.
If you don't have speed to lock their bag, and they decide, I'm gonna go to the magic store, and I'm gonna buy 12 magmas or 12. Yeah. Oh, there's also wind spells. Let's just say you.
Oh yeah. So remember Squall and Kingdom? It's that, but it hits everyone. It has a chance to move them, and it does damage. That's fun, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Super fun. Yeah, the wind spells. So, like, level 1 is only 1.4, level 2 is 2.4, and the level 3 wind spell is a 4.0. That's actually already almost just as strong as the Kingdom Flash Bomb.
Yeah.
Although, and you can use 3 of them in a turn.
And you could use 3 of them in a turn if you're the Archmage. 2 of them if you're a regular mage. And it hits everybody and has a chance. I think it was a 15% chance.
20. I think it's 20%. I think to move them.
I can actually look
in the book. Yeah, I think it's 20% to move with wind magic.
Either way,
yeah,
there's a chance, and they're moving. It's actually 25. Wow.
What? 25?
You have a 1 in 4 chance to get sent somewhere else.
That's so gross. Oh my god! And you get hit. That's disgusting.
Yep, and it's damage, but it's at least the weakest spell in the game.
Oh, please. Oh my god, it better be.
Now, Earthquake, on the other hand.
Earth magic is new to this game. And, well, you know what an earthquake is. The ground be rumbling.
Uh-huh.
Guess what? That means whether you have nowhere to hide, basically. Whether you're underground in a cave or in a different dimension, that earth is going to shake, and you're taking that hit.
Yep.
So, earthquake, you cannot escape. And for the record, the lowest, like Earthquake Magic goes from a 1.6 to a 2.6 to a 5.0. Earthquake Magic is basically Flash Bomb from Kingdom, except you can't dodge it.
And it hits everywhere in the world.
I just want to mention that before we started the stream, Noman told me that like Flash Bomb is not nearly like Flash Bomb in Kingdom is actually better than Earthquake DX, and I disagreed.
I didn't say Flash Bomb was better. I just said we were talking about the end game, like
yeah,
for progress.
No, but like you were saying that like one was scarier than the other.
Multiple. The level the level 3 Earth Magic is not something you can buy unless you. Well, all the level 3 spells are only accessible in the final area, like the poles, basically.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's still really scary, though.
But it is scary if somebody decides to buy a whole bunch.
Go to a certain pole, buy all the Earthquake DXs, and be like, all right, we don't get to play the game until I get what I want.
Yeah, as long as they they have to be Archmage, but yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about the Archmage is we didn't even finish talking about it. We were just talking about the field skill. Yeah, the passive field skill. Let's talk about the battle skill.
You love using.
Let me point something out first, guys. The mage line, all 3 of the mages, all 3 of the warriors, all 3 of the priests, they all get the same stats on level up. And they're all missing one stat. The stat that the warrior is missing is magic. The stat that the priest is missing is speed. The stat that the mage is missing is defense. Yeah. So, theoretically, since the warrior is missing magic and the mage is missing defense, they should kind of like balance each other out. Like the warrior has a chance to just punch the mage, and since they get no defense on level, it's going to hurt a lot. Whereas the same goes for the warrior. Since they're not getting magic on level up, the magical spells are going to hurt the warrior.
Which means
whereas the cleric, the thief, or sorry, not the thief, because the thief also doesn't get magic, but it gets speed mastery over the attack mastery that the warrior get. But the priest, they get no speed, so they're kind of in the middle where they're getting a lot of health and defense and magic and some attack, all that, mainly health and defense on level up, but they're not really hitting people. They're not a threat. But back to the Archmage. You would probably think to yourself, man, it sucks that like these warriors can just hit me and I'll die. Oh, how about I get this special battle skill where I can seal my opponent's O button, and by O button I mean seal. They do not get to attack or defend.
They cannot use it for the rest of the battle.
It is restrict.
Yeah.
On
the O button.
One specific button. It is this restrict skill that you can get, but you basically
turn the fight into a 50-50 for them. You literally turn it into a 50-50.
So now, is it really a 50-50? Because at that point, they
don't have magic.
If I'm a warrior, I probably don't have that much magic.
So you're probably just
gonna my spell. If I have rust, maybe I can threaten you. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, there's also attack Maho Kes and defense Maho Kes. There's a lot of cheeky spells that don't do damage, but they can break stuff.
The only way you're living is if you have Do Recover and you barely live, and they hit magic with Do Recover, but that's so late game.
Or if you have bounce.
Yeah, bounce. You can't buy bounce till literally the last chapter of the game, basically.
You don't have to buy it if you get lucky.
But but realistically, get bounce.
Yeah, realistically though, the Archmage is a level 2 magic class that can show up. In the first continent.
Yeah, all you have to do to get Archmage is do Magician, level 4. Not even Master.
Get level 4 Magician.
And he's hey, you want to be literally arguably the best class in the game? Probably top 3 class in the game. There you go. You can already do it, which is really
There
silly.
You go.
Yeah.
And now it's time to cry. But yes, you can seal their ability to attack and defend, which means you only have to worry about them using magic or striking you. Or whatever their battle skill is. And conversely, and this is something I thought about, if you happen to be an Archmage with a lot of attack, they can't defend you against you anymore. So you can just attack for free. And you know that they can't defend. So they're probably gonna defend against your magic. So you could just attack and get the extra damage that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yep.
So this class, granted, it's still scary if the opponent has some kind of threatening magic, and you don't know if they're going to strike you or not, because that will still kill or hurt a lot, if at the very least. But yeah, this class, it has a way to make it so you don't want to fight it in battle, and you also don't want to let it be free on the field. It has ways to fight in any situation there. And this is only the second level of the magic tree.
Yeah, there's another one.
The senior. There is a third. And this is the necromancer, which sounds very evil, death defying and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But don't worry. This necromancer isn't raising the dead, it's making the dead. It's making you dead. And maybe itself. But this class's field skill, no longer are you shooting 3 or even 2 magic spells anymore. No, we're going back to 1. However, the field skill, let's just say you're tired of people locking your bag because they saw that you're an archmage and they're like, we don't want you to use your bag anymore. Well, you can go the necromancer once you master the archmage and if you master the mage. From this point, your field skill will target randomly anybody and hit them with one of a few abilities. 1, you might poison somebody. 2, you might turn them into a frog, which is giving them a footsore. They can only move 1 space at a time. 3, you might suddenly smack them with the level 2 version of magma, the fire magic, which again is a 3.5 multiplier on the differences. So, in other words, 7 times your magic and minus 3.5 times their magic. You can put it that way. And I don't wanna, that's gonna hurt.
I don't want to cut into your conversation, but we do also only have 5 minutes left.
Oh. See, Noman, you're supposed to tell me this.
Yeah, no one's been
2 hours. I said 2 hours. I didn't want to interrupt him. Talk about necromancer. So yeah.
Well, the last thing is he might also act. Oh, sorry. There's a fourth thing. He can also activate vacuum. He can steal someone's stats, but he might put himself to sleep.
Yeah, which is bad. Not good.
Which means somebody's gonna go kill you.
Yep.
So, and then the battle skill. One of many random, disgusting things can happen. You can seal all their buttons except their strike or counter. You can make them unable to move. You can... Yeah, a lot of weird stuff happens. They'll be confused. They'll be bleeding, blinded, injured, poisoned, locked. All this random stuff can happen. Up to 5 different things, I think. There could be less. And then usually you just auto-win the fight from there. And it can work on bosses too, though I think they reduce it to like 1 or 2 effects when it's a boss for some reason, maybe. Anyways, that's the necromancer. Scary. We didn't even talk about the shaman. We didn't talk about the grappler yet. Alright, we did. The shaman is just... Imagine if you wanted to use field magic for free and never think about it again. And then also imagine you had the hero's guard skill, where you randomly, in battle, raise one of 4 stats, or up to 4 stats. Anyways, yeah. We're running out of time. And it sucks, because this game, there's too much to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
We could have been here all day.
But we could have talked till 10 o'clock, to be honest.
I will say that... The biggest thing in this game is the classes, the jobs. And it's also the scariest thing because magic will destroy you.
Yeah.
If you don't know about it and you're not prepared. And yeah. But some of the nice things in this game, the values of stats change. Like defense is a lot better than it is in Kingdom, we'll say that. It's only 1 1/3 of your defense is worth 1 attack instead of 2 1/3 defense needed to equal 1 attack. And HP is still really good for keeping yourself alive against both. Speed does not affect the strike or counter or anything. Neither does magic. It's only attack and defense. Speed is just accuracy. Think you're way more accurate in this game, so field magic is even more scary. In fact, the accuracy formula is it's really just your magic, the attacker's or speed divided by the defender's speed, but then you add 10% to it, but then you subtract 1% per space of distance. And by space, I mean physical space, not necessarily the game's count of space. But yeah, there's too much. This game is cool though. If you have the chance, get some friends to play. Of course, learn Japanese or don't. Get a translator. Get somebody who knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the game a lot. And I've been playing it a lot. Alongside fighting games and platform fighters, whatever. Wow. Anyways, you got anything else you want to say? You need me to say?
Well, no. I want to say thanks for coming on as a guest. It was nice to have you on as an opportunity on this episode because you are the reason why I pretty much got into this game. It was because of you. I would have probably never played or got into Dokapon the World if it wasn't for you. Because I remember when I joined the Discord and I didn't really know much about the other games, and you were talking about it. Like, you know, there's this really cool game called Dokapon the World. I think you guys should play it. And I looked at it, like how it looked, and I said, this game looks really cool. I should try it with you. And you wanted to play it. Because my only, like, downside was, man, I don't know Japanese. That sucks. And you're like, you know, I got you covered. So I'm like, you know, I have no excuse not to play this game now.
I had
down.
Yep. We were there. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll even make it nice and easy. I won't try to hide anything or nothing.
Yeah, I remember when there was another person who was like, "Yeah, I'll run this emulator over it," and we're like, "Oh."
Then I remember when you went magic just to prove a point. You went straight into Nectar just to prove a point. I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
You guys need to know.
Hey, at least I did jobless. No one else did, so I was kind of prepared. But the others were.
I'm gonna say we are already gone over, but considering we started late, I'll let it. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, technically, if I'm looking at the actual time, it looks like we started 8 minutes late at least.
Yeah, we did start a little late.
Started about 9 minutes late due to technical issues. My bad.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to hold you guys up in your podcast schedule.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay.
No, it's fine. We started late anyway, so it's
we started late, and we can finish a little bit late. But yeah, without that being said,
I mean, this is my favorite version of Dokapon right now.
Yeah.
I can say that.
It's my favorite Dokapon game at the moment, too. I like this game a lot. I hope more people will try it or get into it.
I don't think it's perfect.
Oh, no. There's some problems with this game. Oh, no. There's absolutely some problems with Dokapon the World.
But because it's still relatively new to us, and there's so much to do, I've been making it a point to keep testing things.
Yeah,
and we need I can say, I think I found ways to make magic not a big issue for someone going for a warrior type line. Like if you want to go the attack route, for instance, like if you want to be a swords master or something like that. I found ways to do it, guys. I'm finding more and more ways. So I'm sure you could probably figure it out on your own. You're expert Dokapon players, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'd like to think that. But...
I like to say that. I beat you in the world twice when one of them was my first world game.
You know, I thought we promised that we wouldn't resort to such things.
What? It's funny, but it's funny and true.
It's funny. Yes. Funny things happened.
Salty run back.
Yeah, I'm down to play a game with you, Six. Anytime. I'm down to play again. I like the game, but you do too. So
yeah, you know, I have the game right now.
Well, we got to do the test. We have to do the test file, but if you want to play an actual 4-player game again, I'm down.
Instead of trying to get a game together,
it'll probably be ending.
It's time to sign off. Yeah.
Well,
unless there's anything else Hero, I know you have some of the stronger anti.
You know, I've just been kind of watching around. You know, I
actually
want to interrupt you.
I know you're not a fan of the world peace.
Actually, Hero's opinion on the world changed a little bit. Like he used to not like it, but now he's more like neutral towards it. Like, yeah, this game's fine, kind of thing.
I mean, it's okay. I think.
Yeah.
a lot of things it tries, it's okay. It's not great.
You're used to a modified
but it has a good
version.
I think it has a good foundation, like for trying.
I think if you ignore the teething issues and the amount of like the difference in toxicity compared to Kingdom,
it's more
it can be very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's way more toxic than Kingdom.
I'll say that what holds this game back a lot for me personally is that it's not very beginner friendly.
It's not beginner friendly.
Very cruel.
Yeah, it's cruel.
If you can get past those two hurdles, it's an enjoyable game.
Yeah. It is definitely a more punishing game. Like when you die, like death in Dokapon the World compared to other games is awful.
Like Wes, I would say if you threw new people and gave them basically a translation book and told them to figure it out, I think that I don't know how long the game would potentially even make it, much less to finish the game.
Dokapon the World's definitely better for more advanced.
See, what's gonna happen, Hero, is that whoever just stumbles onto magic is gonna be the one.
Yeah, they're gonna be the person who wins.
Whoever does the magical wins. Yeah, whoever does the magical wins.
Whoever didn't go magic is gonna be like,
Yeah, the person who went warrior
dies,
and then thief and
dies. Yeah,
they're gonna be like, whoa, what's going on?
I will say though, speaking of being punishing, you can lose towns on Angel Death in Dokapon the World. I didn't even bring that up today, like for being more cruel.
Yeah, I mean that only happens when. I feel like that only happens like really late because it seems like the towns, they consider them not as bad a loss.
That's probably because the value of the town in the
not
world.
Not just that, the value of equipment that you might have. Some of it's like $700,000, $800,000.
Oh yeah, there's another thing I need to mention about the world. There's only two types of death: Angel and Reaper. There's no what was the other one? The Dark Angels and Kingdom.
And don't forget, you're only dead for one day.
Yeah, and all deaths is one turn death.
Right,
that's one of my favorite. I love that so much because I hated just waiting forever.
3 turns.
Like
sometimes I'd rather be dead for 3 turns than lose my what I fought of 2 weeks for.
It just depends what you lose on death, mostly. Because, some deaths
I feel like I wasted 2 weeks sometimes when I die in the world, even if I get back up immediately.
It just mostly depends what you lose. Like, if you lose a few items on Angel Death, okay, that's fine. Or, like, you lose some money, okay. You lose, like how I did. I lost New York, which is, like, one of the best towns in the game. Well, that sucks. That's awful. I literally lost one of the best towns in the game. That's terrible. Yeah.
And it's already going to take you a week to just land on the damn thing. So I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that.
The punishing is the scary part. Basically,
I think the game has a lot of punishment.
Oh, it is definitely a punishment.
Whether you're able to handle it or not is definitely an acquired taste.
That is an acquired taste.
Here's what I can say. When I compare this to, let's say, Kingdom, since that's what we're mainly doing, I guess, Dokapon Kingdom. The difference for me is that this game, the game itself has ways to just randomly punish you. Because it is a random game, chance-based. That's how it is. Whereas in Kingdom, it has a lot of ways for you to just cheese everybody.
And metagame it.
And metagame cheesing that just... And again, you guys you're used to playing on a modified version, so you kind of took out some of that stuff. But I'm
that's true.
I'm still going to go... being able to buy some of those really powerful spells anytime you want, anytime you really need to, like you just go there and get it and then bring everybody to you, or some annoying things like being forced to go to the castle just to change my job, or like just little things like that.
Right,
and also how you can't fly to any continent you want. Like, you have to specifically go to the Spring Cave to be able to teleport to other places rather than there being a warp space in every continent.
When you say it's annoying to go back to Dokapon Kingdom, Dokapon Castle, that Dokapon Kingdom as a whole has a much smaller map than the world. Sometimes it feels like you're going across the entire map of Dokapon Kingdom in one continent in the world.
I will say this, though, the nice thing about
if you're thinking of Africa, maybe. But
Africa's huge. Like, even South America is pretty big. Like, the loop down from
South
Chile.
America, they're huge.
South America and Africa, I mean, they are big continents, and that makes sense. But
like,
at the same, it doesn't
even
feel
Oceania.
the same.
Oceania's amount of ocean tiles is crazy.
Yeah, but don't forget that you can easily go in between them with the warp spaces.
Yeah, but my point is that, like, if Dokapon the
it
World
feels
didn't
odd.
have that system, it'd be very difficult.
Yeah, and we're about to hit that 2-hour limit.
Correct, we are.
Look,
So,
there's a lot of opinions.
If we had all day, we could talk about this for 6 hours. There's just way so much in this game.
Part 2 when?
We could do a part 2. We might bring this out at a future episode, maybe, if people want to see it. We could, like, poll and ask, hey, do you want us to talk about this again, if you're curious? But yeah, before we sign off, though, if you guys are watching and are interested in playing the world, we have people here that would love to play it. If you, like, are lost on it or want to know things about it, just feel free to join the Discord and ask. There's no problem about that. Like, about certain things like classes or the game itself, and I'm working on the wiki for it now.
And I have a whole Google sheet with a bunch of
he has a Google sheet. Yep. There's a lot of, we've been definitely scrounging more info for this game. And I gotta say one more time before we sign off, I have to thank Six again for pretty much getting me into Dokapon the World. It would have never happened if it wasn't for him. And that's why I wanted him on this episode as well.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. It was great to have you on here.
It was cool. All right.
Without further ado, thank you everyone who showed up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.